Hello everyone. In today's video we are going to learn how we can illustrate an image or a drawing from paper. I have drawn it very roughly on a paper when I was making a list of groceries. So this was a rough drawing and we are going to see how we can illustrate it in Illustrator. Alright, the first thing we are going to do is take the snap of that image and bring it onto the PC, from where we can import it in Illustrator and make the illustration upon that. So let's go into the file menu, come down to the place option, browse to the folder where you have copied that image and let's import it. Now it's going to give me a warning about the color. I'm going to discard the embedded profile of that image and press OK. So it is giving me a thumbnail of the image I have selected and it's giving me the option to size the image on my artboard. So what I'm going to do is press the left mouse button and drag it and create a size I want to place that image into. So now we will go into the layers panel and from here we are going to the drop down menu and select the template option. And by selecting that template option, there will be three changes. Number one, that my layer is locked. It is locked so I don't accidentally move things while working on it, and it makes the handling a little bit easier, as we have learned in the past that layers make it easier to manage the file. Second, the toggle button of eye is changed to a rectangle, so this is to differentiate that this is the template layer. Third thing is that the layer is little bit dull and whatever I'm going to do on the layers above it will be more visible. So let's create another layer. And let's zoom in a little bit with the help of Alt and scroll wheel. Now first thing we are going to do is create the moon. So let's come to the ellipse tool which lies beneath the rectangle tool and create an ellipse. We are going to press the shift key to get the proportional circle, and since it is filled with the white color I am unable to see what lies beneath. So what we are going to do here is, with this being selected, come to the fill color and select the none. So our fill color is none and we can easily see it beneath it. Next thing would be to create a path on it. Before creating any path over it with the help of pen tool, we are going to make sure to deselect it, otherwise it will just put an anchor point here. So I am going to go to selection tool and make sure to click anywhere else on the artboard and deselect it. Let's select the pen tool and come here, click on this point. Now we are going to click and drag. Again we are going to click and drag for the curve. Let's remove the anchor point from one side of it. So to do that I'm just going to bring my pen tool over the anchor point and click once. This is going to remove that curvy handle and we are just going to end the line here. Now to remove that live handle, all I am going to do is either press escape key or select the selection tool. Let's start creating the figure. Alright, we are done with the basic illustration. Now what we are going to do is hide the reference and tweak it a little bit and add some things. Let's hide the reference, zoom into the moon, and I think the moon is too heavy to be dragged by one row, so let's create another row. Click here with the help of pen tool, click here and let's end it here. Zoom in a little bit. Again select pen tool and create the knot. This is better. Now what we are going to do is, let's create some lines here to give the rope some shakiness. Now we are going to explore another tool called width tool, which has the shortcut key of Shift W, and what it does is thickens the line or the stroke and give it a calligraphic look. So let's zoom in to this line for example, and now what I'm going to do is press and drag. So when I'm going to press and drag, it is all automatically going to thicken it. So let's do that. Let's do this. If I come to the corners, I can also reduce or increase the size of corners. Now we are going to reduce the stroke of these selected elements. Let's give the moon a little bit more character, and I am going to copy the same circle, the same stroke, and make some variations of it to give it a little bit texture and glitters. Let's change the color of these circles to gray to make the critters look soft. Bring these circles below the moon. Let's also change the opacity of individual circles to give it a little more characteristic. Now we are going to create a ground plane for the character. Press the escape key. Now I am going to give it a name and flow that name onto the path. So to type on the path, first I am going to create a copy of this ground so we don't lose the original copy. So let's copy and paste in place by going into edit, copy, edit, paste in place. So now we have a copy above the original, and let's go to the type tool. So when I bring the cursor on the path, it says type tool, and I'm going to click here, and let's give it a name. Press the escape key to get out of the edit mode, and now we can see that it's upside down and we want to change that. So as you bring it to this line and you move it a little bit to the left until the whole sentence is visible, and next thing you want to do is pull the center line towards the top. Let's increase the size a little bit, and let's move the text above. So in this way we can create simple illustrations. Keep practicing and I hope you have enjoyed this video.